No, it's an important.
Just makes me very nervous when I hear that word.
It's very difficult to pull off public restrooms the right way. City of Newburgh, where we have businesses, tried it and didn't do the best job. We've learned from that. But public restrooms are something that's actually very important in a public space. So by creating this pedestrian plaza, and when COVID's over, allowing groups to get together, whether they're starting a historic tour or they're there for some holiday lighting of some ceremony, or they just want to hang out and enjoy the public space, not feel like they're intruding on someone's business to go use the restroom when they're not a customer, it's an important thing to provide. So you just have to do it the right way. And the right way is to design and engineer it the right way, and design them in a way that, believe it or not, can be self-cleaning. So you can, at some certain point, close the door, hit a button, and
To have all over Europe.
the washroom
whether
cleans
it's-
itself.
That's exactly what
And then it'll be locked at a certain time of night, because while it's important to have public restrooms, you can't have them available 24/7, otherwise bad things will happen. Short
Rick?
answer.
Thank you.
I didn't realize, so you're saying grants slash money coming from some government entities, actually 2 million, 1 million, and then 3.6 million.
3.8 was the award, but we won't get all of it.
Okay, so it's really
6.8.
6.8.
6.8.
Yes.
Okay, that's all.
All right, anyone else? Questions?
I just think post-COVID, it's a great thing for people in this area to see the confidence that, you know, instead of being nervous, seeing that you guys are going to take this on. I think it's great for Ulster County when we're seeing the influx of people coming to this area.
So I don't have a question for the applicant, any other questions for the applicants? Rose, I think in a project this size, that the board should have available at Inform Analytics.
Yeah, every project we have to do it for. So yes, every project.
It's just so big. Inform Analytics is similar to what Camoin did, it's just different. And it's not geared towards anything having to do with housing or anything else. It has to do with the indirect and direct economic impact. So,
Like a cost-benefit analysis. They use it in Dutchess, they use it in Orange.
okay.
Nothing else? Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck moving forward, and we hope to see you again.
You will. So procedurally, just real quick,
Yeah.
as soon as we work through our other
I
steps.
gave you an easy out here, Joe.
We'll be right back. We're out. We're just saying we'll be back as soon as we know.
We'll be here.
It was for the October meeting, it's going to be at the legislature. Okay, so so you won't be back in time for our October 18th.
Well, you're actually moving, when is your October meeting?
The 21st. The 21st of October.
I think we will be back.
Work hard at it. We hope to see you then.
When's your meeting?
When's the legislature meet in October?
Last day they weren't doing it. They're not going to have it this month. Just now?
When is it?
The legislature meets on the. There was time.
The 15th, so hopefully we'll be back by the next week.
Okay, that brings us to new business. PPE grants for board consideration. Rose? Hold on before we go.
No, I just want to touch on that last restaurant guy that was here. What was his name? Doug?
Posey.
Doug Posey. You have all those numbers?
Yes. No, that's not accurate.
Because it just literally a figure, it just doesn't add up.
No, it
I mean,
doesn't.
how can you have
Oh,
your
you could do it too,
maitre d'
Danny.
running dishes and silverware back and forth? I mean, does he have a lot of employees?
He controls his own narrative and his, I think, I'm not,
He
you know,
did
Mr.
have,
It just
Posey
didn't
didn't
work.
have a real understanding of the process. I don't understand.
You know.
I don't believe with the application, and if he wrote his own application, then so be it. But, you know, I think we came to a good compromise there.
Let him come back before.
And, right, and any discussions that go on from here, he'll have to prove it all. I mean,
I don't care how much money you're paying people, as long as it's the minimum wage and what you put out there. FTEs to me are simply that, FTEs.
right.
Okay. Can we, Michael, you need a minute, or can I get on?
Need 1 minute.
Okay, pal.
He's got to have. He's got to.
All right, can everybody review the PPE grants for the board consideration? Rick, you looked at them already?
I looked at it.
That's what I was saying to him, yes. $12.13,
We're
there's 11.
we're on,
Yeah.
on the camera.
No, it was what I had already said when he was here.
I'm not sure about the Festival of Voice because they had one event and it was a in-car, everyone drove their cars to a theater, an outside event. There was nobody who needed masks, I mean, maybe the people who were directing the cars. out in the parking
That's why
lot.
they have the vests also, was because of it being the outdoor event with everybody in the cars.
But it was a one-time event.
Right, so we were
Center
paying
range.
back for buying those for that event. They had already purchased their items.
And all those items, because they're very non-kosher.
Which, what the items are? Oh, yeah.
Well, all I'm saying is that everything should be really scrutinized in all of these, but I was just curious about if they were receipts that were.
Yes, we check every single receipt against every single item listed.
Festival was. So are we going to approve all these then? Right now?
Yeah, so it's just that Mike had stepped out, so Jimmy was waiting for him to come back. There was talk of that, I think we don't do that. They just said, no, we're not coming to talk to it. It's gotta go to Ways and Means.
I have to do half overshadow.
I'll check, that was the last I heard.
No.
They didn't want it. I went.
She started it out with
Did I miss anything?
Roger that. Nope, we were waiting
We're
for
waiting for
you.
you.
Boy.
Okay, so there was some discussion, there were some questions about some of the items that were purchased. So for example, we cannot, council has determined we cannot count computers as PPE as per the New York State laws for the IDA granting the money for one of the applicants. So I think all of these were fine, right, except for we would have to modify all of library for whatever PPE they had and remove the computers.
Right, and I don't know whether they could, the item could qualify under CRC. I don't know if the
Right,
project
but
does.
not under the, well, yeah,
Right.
it could,
Right,
but not under the idea.
but for our consideration here, yes.
Yes.
Right.
So do we have to go back to them, or you'll just cut it out of the other accounts?
No, you can decide if you want to do a grant for the computers, then we would have to do it out of the CRC, but
I mean,
since
what is
it's
it,
not.
what is it, $400, $600?
Yeah, but if it's not what we were asking for, then we could also just say, we're only gonna grant money for PPE as discussed, and so you guys could approve all the projects except for changing that one, it's up to you.
I'm on the fence, whatever the board agrees on, I'll go with.
My opinion would be to not have computers, hard equipment in this.
Yeah, I agree, I wouldn't even move it over to the CRC. Stick to the PPE, that's how we originally talked
Right, that's
about
what the
this.
grant's for, that makes
So,
sense?
can't be in the IDA, take it out. When we get to the CRC meeting, we'll talk about the computers in that context.
Okay.
But it's gotta come out for the IDA.
Okay, so would you approve the rest of it through the IDA then?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So then, we need a motion to
Okay, I
approve the
make a
grants?
motion to approve all the PPP grant applications except for the computer. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Anyone on the question?
So, we're just eliminating the computer, we're not gonna go take a look at the other stuff that people have in here? That's it?
That's the motion that you're
That's
going
We're
yours.
giving Rose discretion to.
Just make that the motion.
I mean, and it, just so you know, I mean, I clearly understand exactly what a PPE is. 100%, maybe better than most on some jobs, okay? some of the stuff that's in here is clearly not a PPE, but that's my opinion.
So then you want to change the motion to,
Well, we can't change the motion unless somebody wants to rescind the motion.
Okay, I'm gonna rescind the motion that I just made. And then we're
Do
gonna do.
you have the okay from your second to rescind that? Who
Yeah.
seconded
Yeah.
that?
Okay. So,
Okay. Would you like to restate a motion?
Mike, why don't you do that?
The motion, I think the motion should be approved, these should be approved on the basis of PPEs, the definition of PPEs, not just a vague stroke of the brush. So I would motion that they're approved on the basis of the description of PPEs.
As
right, so then are you going to
Yeah.
allow?
understand that.
are you
as
gonna-
described in your instructions. It's very
Right, but then
clear
are
in
you
the
going to
instructions.
allow
As is-
restaurants that are buying to-go containers, et cetera, or not? No.
Well, that's not protection equipment.
No, but it was to help stop the spread of COVID, so it's not just PPE, it's also fixtures and something to
Was it
stop
in
the
your
spread of
instructions
COVID.
that way?
Yes,
Well, then go with
but
your.
it doesn't say to-go containers, it doesn't say.
So if it was in your
I just
directions,
think that
I
the
think-
computer
I
thing got us a little bit
you know
out
what,
there.
I don't think with the restaurants you can do that, because that's, we are making money by doing takeout containers.
I agree. But I'm just
PPP
trying
is
to
an
clarify.
expense. Takeout containers, it's built in our food cost, we're making money. I
But
disagree
to
with that.
To that
I
amount
disagree.
though, I mean, if your restaurant's not open for in-house dining, then everything is,
So,
Takeout.
listen,
I'm asking you as
no,
someone in that
I don't
industry.
think, I don't think we should. I think that PPE should go an expense, that's part of your operating, because I feel we're spending money, it's coming back in on
So
that. So
you're-
I think that's a
your
stretch.
position is,
I think that's a
if
stretch.
it's PPE by definition.
Yeah.
but there was a definition, I'm not disagreeing with what you just said.
I'm just trying to get clarity.
There was a
here for the board.
definition, maybe Rose, you could read it. In the
Yeah.
application was a definition that was given to the applicants, and we spent some time going through that definition. So I'm okay with going with the definition if it includes buckets to take your chicken out, I don't care if that's in the definition. Rose,
If it's in
would
the
you
definition.
mind
Read it,
reading the
Rose.
definition in the application?
Yes.
And Dan, I hear you,
Yeah, no.
but we have a definition. I'm wondering if we should just go back to that and listen.
If whatever's in, it's gotta be grandfathered in, that we can't go back and change it moving forward possibly. Yeah.
PPE shall include, but not necessarily limited to, masks, hand sanitizer, sneeze guards, face guards and face shields, glove and eye protection, safety footwear or uniforms, or other respiratory devices, for example, air purifiers, cleaning materials and disinfectants, specialized packaging for shipping or deliveries,
Okay, it falls under
There
there.
you go.
There you go.
signage, COVID testing kits, hardware, and fixtures necessary for shielding or distancing workers from patrons and patrons from each other. So that's another, like, anything could be used to distance people, right? So, payment of independent contractors to do or provide any of the foregoing. Items not listed here, but which now or hereafter is listed by the Centers of Disease Control as being necessary or proper PPE. Other items, products or materials reasonably related to the purpose and effectiveness of PPE.
Okay, so it
Pretty
doesn't
broad.
say anything about computers, so I think we're pretty good. And if they can make a case for it and it falls within the criteria, then we're good to go. So Michael, would you, with all that, would you create a new motion for us?
I motion that we approve all applications on the basis of the description that have been presented by the CEO.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. Anyone else on the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Very good. Very good. Okay, so what does that
We
bring
have
us?
to, Aaron, hold on.
All
Yep,
right, do we have any more?
public comment.
Public comment on agenda items, for board, on agenda items only.
Okay, we have one right here.
Hi.
Greetings and salutations. Being fully aware of the times that we live in, most of you could be articulate and could be understood. Orlando, you could not. pull a mask away from your mouth, whatever. But about 40% of what you said when you spoke at length was totally lost. I don't know.
On who? On you? I'm just asking.
You know, I'm not gonna go into the back and forth with you, Orlando. At one point, I don't know if it was Joe Scott or Joe, you know, somebody from this side said they couldn't understand what you were saying. I couldn't understand what you're saying, and I would say that, you know, a couple times other people also spoke. You were just the one that came out the most. I realize the times we're living in with the mask, they are necessary, I agree. But just be aware that you have to modulate different now. Thank you.
Well, look, I get it, that wasn't an agenda item, but it's a housekeeping item.
No, it's every agenda item you could apply
No,
to.
that's not a specific agenda item.
Yeah.
And just
exactly.
address the
Well,
board
let
on
just,
that
let me
instead of.
finish where I'm going with that.
Sure.
We'll make every effort possible, and if you need clarity, then just ask us and we'll do everything we can to help you. But it was not an agenda item.
Yeah, and it probably would have been better if you addressed the board instead of him individually. Probably would have come across better.
We get it. Thank you. We'll make every effort, and if you need clarification or repeat, we'll certainly do that to make the job easier for everyone concerned. I need anyone else on public comments on agenda items? No? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you,
Does
Tim.
anyone need a break for the,
Yes,
before the
please.
CRC?
Please.
Yep.